We'll start with the seeds. So I have a few here. Let me move this out of the way here. I have to start with the canary seeds. So the canary seeds, and I'll go ahead and take this off of here. Should have taken this off first before I even started the video. All right, the canary seeds that I have here are actually sold from Mino, the percussion company. But you can get these from Lark in the Morning, Motherland Music, and these are manufactured in Indonesia, and they're from the yellow oleander tree. That's not the technical name, but it's the hardened shell. So these are the tree or the shrub, the plant that it comes from, are found in different regions of the world, including Indonesia, South America, as well as parts of Africa on the continent there. So these are sometimes used by, or I've read that these are sometimes used by indigenous peoples around the world for jewelry and other traditional ceremonies and whatnot. So I'm not an expert on any of these by any means, but just giving you a little bit of a back story on them. Then you have the Ide seeds. Let me grab these as well off of here. You also have the Ide seeds from the continent of Africa as well, Nigeria, I believe. They're very small seeds, shells. These particular ones, there was a lot more on this little belt, so it was a fuller sound, but I love the way just that soft, almost like water trickling type of sound that you get. You can get this off of Motherland Music. That's where I got those from. I love that site. Store out of Gardena, California, in the Los Angeles area. Then you have the Ekbiri. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation. You know what? I'm just going to leave these on here and put some B-roll video so that you can see them. So you have the Ekbiri seeds, and you have the Togo seeds, sometimes referred to as, or the Agba seeds, Togo seeds. Now, they look alike, but they have a different sound. They're from a different plant, all right? The Ekpiti and the Agba. The Agba, or the Togo seed, is a little more mellow. It's not as harsh, as bright, rather, as the Ekpiti seed. You can find the Togo seed from Motherland Music as well, and this one here, this Ekpiti, I think I got it at a Guitar Center or something, but you can find these all over the place, as well as Motherland Music. Then you have the Capiz shells. You see these a lot in beach towns, Florida, other places at the beach. They're very popular by the water, and they actually are from a mollusk. They're similar to a mother of pearl, but perhaps a little more fragile and thinner. So it is from a mollusk from the sea there, the Capiz shell. I love those. Then you have, did I do all the seeds? You have palm fronds. So these had actual, like from palm. So it's actually like a leaf, like palm type deal there. You have different shaped Ede seeds that I mentioned earlier. So these were the really small ones, and these are a little bit larger. And so they'll have a deeper, perhaps a deeper tone. And then I have some goat toes here. So I think I mentioned all the seeds that I have here. And then you have goat toes, actual toes from a goat. Those are nice, especially if you get a whole bunch of them. Now that's going to change the tone if you have a few versus a few hundred, or a few versus 25, 30, 40, 50. So the amount of that particular shell or seed that you have is going to change the tone. All right, what else do we have? We have chimes. I've mentioned chimes before. OM double chime here. This company is discontinued, but you can find them sometimes online. And because they are discontinued and it was a popular company, they can tend to be a little pricey. If you can find these, they are great. It's a nice scale there. And then I have Treeworks. That's a small chime. It's nice. You can tell the difference. There's a difference in tone and scale or mode that the chimes are actually tuned to. Sometimes you can go into a hardware store or a bird store, and you can find different types of chimes. These are copper chimes that are actually tuned, each one to a specific pitch. And I bought that at I think I bought that at like a True Value store. It might have been a Bird store, or it might have been like a True Value hardware store. I don't remember exactly. And then every now and then you might find some other chimes just going around in a. I found this one in a little antique store. Love that. These little tones you can use to add to the music can be found in so many different places. So I have keys, and here's the thing about the keys. I've got some keys here that are all a very specific type of key. Can't remember if it's like not nickel, but actual a certain type of metal, steel keys. They're going to have a different sound. Here I have some bronze keys and some I don't know if it's nickel, aluminum, steel, but they're going to have a different sound. Hear that? Versus I like these steel keys, silver ones. They have a very bright, sparkly sound and projects through the music. It's not overwhelming though at the same time. And I like them because they tend to sparkle, right? It's almost like they're bouncing off of different parts of the room as opposed to a very focused sound of the actual chimes. Sometimes these keys work a little more in the music depending on what you're doing. I've really gotten into liking using these often more than I do the actual chimes, although I love the chimes. It's just, I guess, a little more unconventional sometimes with them, so they're not as obvious in the music. Oh, there's chimes. So sometimes it can be less redundant, for lack of better words. I know there's semantics there. What else do we have here in front of me? I have some other chimes. I have a very small pin chime. It's a Tibetan pin chime. You can find these in various stores that have like singing bowls and stuff like that. The thing I love about these particular chimes is it's not the most pure. And actually, I believe this, even the engravings that are on here are going to challenge the sound. They're going to change the sound and make it a little less pure. There's going to be some more dissonance, some more vibration or vibrato in the sound. You're not really going to tell it as much until you get some that are like where they're perfecting it with the tuning fork or whatever it is. However, I do like that about it, that it's not that pretty of a sound. I think it is very pretty, but what I mean by is it's not perfected, right? If you pay close attention as it starts to decrescendo or cascade down in not in pitch but in volume, as it goes down and dies out, you can hear it kind of waver the sound. But I tend to like that. I think it's pretty cool because I'm using this in pop music anyhow. If I was wanting the most pure tone in a classical situation or a symphonic situation, then that might not work. But even in that case, sometimes you do. It's just an interesting sound. Sometimes when we're using different triangles or whatnot, and even in a symphonic situation, you may want something that doesn't sound as pure of the tone on purpose. It just really depends, right? Then I have these LP finger shots. Now, inside of these one shots, finger shots made by LP, there's a chamber in there that allows the stuff inside to only go one way. So what's trippy about it is if I point it up and push it down, it's as I go down, the sound is only happening when I make my hand go up. So it's like messing with your head. But anyways, I love it because it's very staccato. So if you want to do stuff like that, you can, and it's much more controlled rather than if you were using a shaker. You would have to make sure everything is on the bottom, and you can easily control how, like a hi-hat almost, right? Just a little crunchy of a hi-hat, I guess you could say. Then I have a similar idea, but actually more along the lines of a shaker, and these are just little jam. It's a little jam container with dry rice inside. And because the dry rice the container's glass, it has The glass is softer. So, but the top has a higher sound, a higher dynamic, a louder dynamic rather. So when the rice goes up and hits this side, you don't hear it as much as you hear the bottom. So it's similar to the one shot in that sense that you can control it. So you can make your own one shot type of deal because of that dynamic shift here. But it's a softer one shot. Brighter, not as bright. When we use these terms bright, warm, usually meaning higher pitch, or the treble or the frequency might be a little harsher on the ear, especially in the terms of treble. It may have a metallic sound, and sounds that are metallic often have a brighter pitch. Hello everyone, the video you just watched is a clip of a longer video, which is a part of an course online at my website, williamjohnsonmusic.com, on percussion effects. It's some of the instruments there in that clip and in the longer video are a part of my collection and are used in the online course on percussion effects in music. So you can check that out at williamjohnsonmusic.com for the full video. Let me know what you think below.